Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and today we're taking a look at the Slaves to Darkness, and in particular the Cabalist subfaction. In this video we're going to go through, talk a little bit about the Cabalist subfaction and the special rules it gets. We'll then take a look at a couple of units we recommend for getting started with for the faction, before looking at some other units we can use to expand upon that initial collection. Finally, we'll finish off the video with a little sample army list of 1,000 points for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Cabalist army for the Slaves to Darkness in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And so, with that all said, first of all, we get the Blasphemous Rituals rule. This allows Cabalist heroes to become wizards. If that hero is already a wizard, they can attempt to cast one additional spell in each of your hero phases, and they know an additional spell from the Lore of the Damned as well. Now, on top of this, in addition, if you carry out the Draw on Power heroic action, which is a Slaves to Darkness unique heroic action allowing you to cast spells with 3d6, however, any result of a double 1 in that 3d6 will result in you taking d6 mortals from a miscast. You can do that with each other friendly Cabalist hero within 3 inch of the first, so you can effectively have all your heroes get to use the heroic action if you've got them all nice and tight, like in a Cabal. Now, of course, looking at where to start with this faction, well, we're not going to go past a wizard, and I really like the Chaos Lord on Manticore. I think he's a solid fighty wizard hero option you have available to you in the Slaves to Darkness. So you have a 4-up save, 12 wounds, a monster, you can cast an Unbind 1 spell with this model. You've got the ability to get extra damage with the Manticore's Horned Fangs and Tearing Claws if he's fighting a monster. Oracular Visions will allow you to put a 6-up ward on a friendly Slaves to Darkness mortal unit. And Winds of Chaos is a really cool spell, range of 8 and a casting value of 8. You successfully cast, you pick one enemy unit within range and visible, roll a number of dice equal to the number of models in that unit. For each 5+, the unit suffers a mortal wound. For each 6+, they'll suffer 2 mortal wounds. So this all in all just gives you a solid wizard that can also do some fighting, which I think is a really versatile piece to have in a Cabalist force. Now, alongside the Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore, Chaos Warriors for me are the way to go for a good battle line troop. They're super solid, 220 points will get you 10 Chaos Warriors, so that's 20 wounds worth of them, 3-up save, 2 wounds apiece. You've got the option for a couple of different weapons, either your Murderous Weapons for 2 attacks at 3/3, round 1, damage 1 with a 1-inch range, or getting the Halberds for 4s to hit. The rest of the profile is the same, but you also do get an extra inch of range for a 2-inch range on these weapons. Now, you can add 1 to your attacks characteristic thanks to your Bringers of Desolation rules, if they're melee weapons while they're hollow within enemy territory or within 12 inch of an objective you do not control. On top of that, they also have a ward save of 5+ against mortal wound. Looking at where to go next, and the basic Chaos Sorcerer is certainly a great secondary wizard to bring into your force. Now, they have Oracular Visions, just like your Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore, so you can get 2 units if you've got these in the same army to get that 6-up ward at all times, which is really nice. Now, they are a cast and Unbind 1 spell wizard as well, but their big thing is they've got Demonic Power, which gives you +1 to hit and wound to a friendly Chaos Mortal Slaves to Darkness unit in your army. Now, if we're looking at other interesting pieces to bring in, none more so are interesting than the Mutalith Vortex Beast. Now, the Mutalith Vortex Beast, first of all, in your hero phase can heal up to D3 wounds allocated to it. It's got a 4-up save and 14 wounds. It also has, a variety of different attacks, not too much rend or damage coming out of it, but its aura of mutation is really where it comes. In your hero phase, you pick an enemy unit within 18 inch of it, roll a dice, and look up the corresponding effect on the table below. If you're within 9 inch of a friendly Zinch wizard, you can roll 2 dice instead and pick the result that you want. Now, this could be anything from subtract 1 from bravery, subtract 1 from 1 rolls, move rolls, making enemy units suffer mortal wounds, or even spawn change where the unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. Once their mortal wounds have been allocated, if any models from the unit were slain, you can set up a Slaves to Darkness Zinch Chaos Spawn within 3 inch of the unit as well. So this can be really cool, like a nice little techie piece, throwing Chaos Spawns in your enemy's line, along with some other things. Now, looking at some other utilities to bring to the force, we want to look at some of the Cabals. Now, the different cultists you can bring in for your Slaves to Darkness army, I think, are really interesting. We're generally going to be a pretty static force with Cabalists, generally shooting off a lot of magic. That's why we've got the Chaos Lord of Manticore in there for a nice, solid hitting piece. But a lot of our force will be sitting back. So, first of all, for us to move forward and not have to worry about objectives, Iron Golems are a really good home objective holder. 100 points to get +1 save when they've not made a normal move in the same turn. Really solid and cheap. The other one to look at, I think, is Corvus Cabal. Their big thing is they get to start off the table at the beginning of the game, and they can come down during any of your turns 9 inch away from enemy units. This is really cool. Also, if they're in terrain as well, they can't be seen at all if the units hold within terrain, or they can choose to charge as if they had fly if they start the charge move hold within terrain as well, as they jump out of the trees like a bunch of birdies. And so here we have our sample army list for the Cabalists. Now, Mortal Realm, come on, because we are going to have a ton of Tzeentch-based units. So Tzeentch definitely has a big stake in the Mortal Realm of Tremont, so that's why we've gone for that nice little bit of narrative to the army. Now, we've got the grand strategy, no place for the weak, destroying our opponent's battle line, which should be pretty easy to do. We can either do this with mortal wound output, or potentially things like Chaos Sorcerer, Lord of Manticore, or even something like the Mutilated Vortex Beast we've got on the list can do some killing to basic battle line units. Now, the Chaos Sorcerer Lord on Manticore is going to be our general. He's going to have the command trait Arch Sorcerer. This is really cool as it gives him access to all of the spells in the Chaos Slaves to Darkness spell lore, but it also is in addition. So that allows him to take a universal spell in Flaming Weapon as well. He's then going to have the Arcane Tome, so this, along with the Cabalist rule, will allow him to cast 3 spells a turn, giving him really great utility. Now we've got the Mark of Chaos on Tzeentch in there, so we're going to get an extra spell as well for being a Tzeentch wizard. We're going to have Warp Reality, a nice little teleport. And then for our second hero, we have Chaos Sorcerer Lord, Mark of Tzeentch, and the spell Binding Damnation. Though really, he's most likely going to be casting Demonic Power more often than not. For our battle line, we have 10 Chaos Warriors. Halberds and Shields, I think after this current sort of edition, it'll be interesting to see where we go. Halberds and Shields, probably if we lose the Battle Brothers rule, we'll probably see a better option, though the hand weapons and shields are really good. In Sorcerer Banner on the year, the Blasted Standard will see us have a 4-up ward save against missile weapons. We also have the Mark of Chaos Tzeentch on the unit. We then have 2 units of 8 Iron Golems, and if you really want to, you could certainly swap out one of these Iron Golem units for a Corvus Cabal unit if you want. You've got the points, Cabal are cheaper. And then we've got a Mutilated Vortex Beast in the army as well. Everything is all wrapped up in a battle regiment, so it's 1 drop. We're 10 points under, so the Triumph we've gone for is Inspired for +1 to wound. Could be really helpful, especially getting that Chaos Sorcerer Lord into combat and allowing him to get +1 to wound could be nice if we do get the chance to get it. No reinforced units and no allies. 65 wounds is around that average range for a 1,000-point army, and 1 drop as mentioned thanks to the battle regiment. If you've got some ideas on a Cabalist army list for the Slaves to Darkness, let us know down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and also drop a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel. You can find links to both our Patreon and YouTube members in there who will get the ability to choose the focus of the channel, being able to request particular videos in our Getting Started series and start collecting series that you want to see. If you are a YouTube member as well, when we do live streams on YouTube, you also get access to a bunch of cool emojis in the chat. Now you can also go and grab some Sinful Gaming merch as well down in those videos descriptions for either from our Ko-fi or Teespring stores. As a last thing, a special shout out is something that all our Patreon and YouTube members get, so thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, Bloobs, Benjamin Suarez, Red Martin, and Aaron DeHaven. And to our YouTube members as well, thank you Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Ravenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South. And lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you can see for the channel. Thank you once again for watching, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.